Welcome to the CueSports International Expo, being hosted at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. This is the only WPA-sanctioned World Championship to take place in America. The 64-player field is based on invites and WPA rankings. This is the $100,000 Predator World 10-Ball Championship presented by CueSports International and sponsored by Predator. This will be a race to 8 double elimination in the first stage and a race to 10 for the final 16.
And we'll break first.
Alternating breaks. This is George Teacha and Jeremy Jones in the booth to bring you the live action. We've got a great match for you this morning.
Always favorites in the event. Chris REINHOLD. Kind of throws some hands up in the air after a dry break right there. He's got to be a little used to that, though. I mean, these last two events, Vegas Diamond and now the Predator World 10 Ball, they're not leaning towards like the break being automatic. So
they've been spoiled by the template.
Well, a little bit. Well, I don't know if I'd come tight here. I think I might try and come long right at the 5 with the cue ball. Comes tight, I think he's threatening getting snookered or getting behind the 6. Keep it inside.
Coming up corner for the 2 ball.
No. You'll learn on that shot on the slick table. It's more like straight English. Inside doesn't really bite, and it bit a little bit there, but it doesn't bite and keep going. You know, kind of stalls
right.
On the slick fell.
Well, usually when you're using this type, it's also called kill.
Yeah. From a thin angle, though, you can usually run the ball a little bit, you know, and kind of feel like the inside's going to give you the angle that you want or the line that you want on the cue ball.
Nice bank. He did end up with an aggressive shot there, an offensive.
Yeah, now he's in a great spot. Just got to don't take your eye off the prize here on this 3 ball. Shape's pretty automatic.
Well, this is a race to 8, and it's alternating breaks. There's a 30-second time clock. No early 10 balls or golden breaks.
He's got a little fin here on the floor, so he's going to have to put a little bit in the cue ball. That'll do, that's for sure.
Things look pretty spread out and should be able to maneuver these last 5 balls.
He's going to get a little flat here, but he should be okay to go to the rail and then out, going towards where the cue ball's at now.
This is a diamond table with Predator Cloth. The Arcadia Reserve cloth, and it's also the Predator Arena lights and the Predator Arcos balls. If you're not familiar with 10 ball, you do play the balls in rotation. So the round 7 ball and then the first D8. And I think the 9 and 10 are easily recognizable as the rest don't need to strike balls on the table.
Talked about it in the first match when these guys played Vegas Diamond. Of course, Shane is kind of one of Chris's heroes. Pretty sweet. He got to be a teammate last year.
Yeah, this is like a Moscone team practice, isn't it? Under pressure, under the lights.
Yeah.
Under the lights.
I don't know if I'd address it as practice, but definitely experience and training and in the heat of battle.
This is the best way to practice. You
Yeah.
got a nice crowd around you. You have the arena lights, cameras on you. The pressure of the tournament, playing for your tournament life. This is a 1-loss side match. And, Chris REINHOLD defeated, on the 1-loss side, he defeated Danny Olson. He lost to Victor Selinsky to start things off. Nice player. all of them are good to great. Quite a contingent here in the U.S.
And we got some nice outer matches going. Chang and we came in. It's a one-loss side, so we lose. You know, one of the greats in the game.
Hall of Famer or Chang.
Chang will probably make Hall of Fame. I mean, he's got some titles to win still. Doesn't have a U.S. Open, doesn't have a World Championships. So.
Is he traveling to the U.S. Open, which comes up right after this?
Oh, I'm sure of it, yeah.
And good luck to you. I know you're playing in there, and you've already looked at the draw and studied your opponent.
Yeah, I just looked at the draw.
You don't study the opponent?
Yeah, not really study too much. Just 9-ball, there isn't much to study. You don't vary your shot very often according to your opponent. Occasionally, though, George, you roll out. So just was kind of curious. You know, when you get the email that the draw's out, you hit the link and see what it looks like. So
I like to just see what bracket, where I am in the bracket, I guess, to see who I might face towards the end. Of course, we don't get past the first two very often. But Chris doing some nice work here.
Yeah, and it's been a couple banks, the 2-ball in the first game and now the 1-ball to start in game number 2.
Finding out his problem.
Yeah, I wonder what he does here. Does he have a line to draw into the 6? Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No, it'll go up. Yeah, it'll go up. So.
Well, can he get back to the short side? I would like to get short side on the 6 here myself.
And it means underneath the 6-ball to the underneath his hand here.
Yeah, to play the 6 all the way up in the top right corner. Looks pretty comfortable with the speed of the table.
This is one of those shots that it's so easy to miss and not a really hard ball to make.
Yeah. Well, it's more of a mental thing usually. And if you took the side pocket away and those points away, those guys just knock that ball down the rail. But
sure,
somehow when you twitch a little bit, it looks like there's a point you can't really try to hit if you wanted to on the 6-ball, but it seems to catch it just like it did there. Shane with his first open look. He did break in game number 1. So if he gets out here and ties it, he'll break in game 3.
Which will put us back on break. With the alternate break format, you want to win your break. If you can do that, you can win the match, since you broke first and won the lag. Tied at 1. Shane Van Boening to break, and the young 23-year-old Reinhold waiting in his chair for his opportunity to come back to the table. Tied at 1.
Yeah, Shane with a dry break in the first. Usually means he'll definitely not back off here. Alright, looks like the 4-reeler's tracking. One's going to open up. Maybe not. Real close. Shane now, who doesn't get a whole lot of credit sometimes on his safety play or his kicking play, but it's some of the best, that's for sure. Wonder if he's going to play the cue ball maybe underneath the 10, underneath the 6, something like that, and bank the 1 back over by the 4-5, running the cue ball to the top rail, and then bring it all the way back down by the 6-3, I think, or the 10, something like that. That ball kind of kicked a little bit, turned over. He was trying to lay it underneath the 4-5, and now it's going to take quite a bit the worst of it, or he should.
Well, as soon as you give up control of the table, it's out of your hands. Shane's loss in the second round was to Vader Alawaldi, fine Kuwaiti player.
Nice shot there. Taking away an easy kick shot if he just laid him behind the 4-5 most likely, and now made a much tougher kick shot for Shane. Anytime the ball's out in the space like that on the 1, going to the rail, judging the bend of the cue ball with the slick felt, all that, very difficult.
It's a smaller ball to hit. No reference points with the rail.
Yeah. Don't think he has a 2-rail kick that's that great. The slick felt, very hard to make it grab that English on the second rail here, so he could go between the 1-8. Like, oh, he caught a little piece.
It's gonna, oh, almost. Well, he doesn't have a pocket on the left side, I don't think.
No, probably just pushes the 1 onto the 10, tries to drop the cue ball on the rail behind the 3, I think anyways. He could go the other way, clipping the other side of the 1. Trying to use the 2, but man, that could be dangerous. Yeah, I didn't see that as the easiest. Well, it's an easy safety, but I don't know what the reward's going to be, and it may be even opposite of a reward, maybe a little punishment here.
He's only jumping over a small portion of the 2 ball, but
Yeah.
he only needs to hit a small portion of the 1 ball.
Yeah, and go into the 3 most likely. Open that up a little bit.
You know, it's funny, the crowd sure like those jump shots.
Oh yeah.
You can make 4 great shots in a row and, oh, standard. Then you make a simple jump shot and it's, yay!
Yeah.
Simple for these guys, not so much for us at home.
He knew the speed was going to be tough to contain it. I think he's probably pretty happy being there. A little bit going away from the 4, but all things considered, pretty good.
He'll be able to find a nice line for the 4, looks like, just rolling against the rail.
Yeah.
Or will he come around? No, it's just...
We talked about guys on the 1-loss side. Talked about Omar Al-Shaheen, that once he gets on that 1-loss side, he's a tough customer. He keeps battling. Of course, he's on the winner's side here and had a great run at the Vegas Diamond. But this guy right here at the table, also, in my opinion, probably the toughest on the loser side, maybe ever. I'd like to see some of that as get back in, you know, with Shane. Not saying he's still not the same guy on the loser side, but seems to me at times he can lose concentration a little bit more.
Have a little mental letdown?
Yeah, and you know, he knows he can't afford that, you know, and,
No.
and we all know it, even though it does happen to us. So, but we expect from Shane it not to happen so much. It's just that's what he's shown us for the last 15 years. So,
And that's a long time to carry that type of responsibility.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's doing it for himself, but as a fan of his, and
Sure.
something I appreciate watching him do that. When you see him get on that one loss side, and he's just starting to mow people down one after another, it's pretty fun to watch.
You know, one of the things about watching Shane is when you see him early in a tournament, he just kind of walks around a little bit like he's doing now. When you see him get closing in on the finals, he's got a different walk, a different demeanor. It's like it's all business. It's all just like killer instinct.
Yeah, well, if you know him and you're around him enough, you kind of learn to know those crazy eyes, those very intense eyes he gets, and
right.
Haven't seen those just quite yet here in Vegas. And it's almost like when he gets takes a deep breath, gets a little oxygen to the brain, the eyes open up, and it's a definite look that most of us that have played him know and don't like seeing.
Yeah, you can recognize it. I've commentated a lot of Shane's matches in the U.S. Open 10 ball, 8 ball, and you can recognize it in his eyes. That little frown of concern like he has right now is one of them, one of the tells. But we've got some great matches in the 7 tables surrounding this arena table. And as Jeremy said, Omar Al-Shaheen over Victor Zelinsky is 2-1. Mika Immonen over Junlin Chang 2-0. Maximilian Lecter over Al-Shamari 2-0. David Alcaide and Dennis Grab tied at 1. Johan Chua and Jonas Suto 4-1. Chua. Homan 2-1 over Pagalayan. And Gorst trailing by 3 games to Roland Garcia. Back to this match. Analyze that. Good look at Chris's stroke, how he comes through the ball, his break.
Yeah, he's been working on it. There's that 10 ball movement again, and see how all these balls on the side rail. It's weird. When they do that, it's almost always the side you break from as well for some reason. Practiced that 10 ball a lot, and that 10 ball break a lot at one time in my life, and it seemed like whenever I didn't hit them quite so well, or maybe the rack was a hair off, it seemed like they always clustered on the same side of the table that I broke from. Can't really explain it.
Ooh.
A rare open miss there by Shane.
For those of you at home, go to www.playcsipool.com and you can hit the tournament brackets right there available for you. And also when you hit there, you can just go to the live scoring and you'll see all 8 tables scoring and who's playing.
And I believe it's CTS On Demand, is that correct?
And CTS On Demand has that too.
Okay, he's overhit this just a little bit for what would be prime shape on the 3. Now he's got to gamble a little bit, moving the cue ball. Love to have just held it right there for the cut shot on the 3 and then the 4-7 combo in the side, but now he's got to kind of thread the needle coming in here, 1 rail in between the 3-4 with the cue ball. Oh, that looks pretty good. I don't know if it's enough pace or not, but it looks like to me Chris has got the speed of the table down pretty well here early on day number 3. Now, he doesn't want to necessarily play the kiss shot unless he can play a lot of control, because he only has a little area to put the 4 on the rail to where it'll pass the 6. So he may want to try and get for the combo. He's going to overhit it a hair. But I think that's the smart decision, trying to get for the combo to free that 4 ball up a little bit.
Well, if he hits this with a little bit of speed on this combo, that 4 ball is going to travel, what, to the center diamond on the foot rail?
It just kind of matters, you know, how much the 7 he catches. He may go into the 5 with the 4. Okay, got past it.
Yeah.
So that's going to work out great.
Yeah.
And Chris, you know, still gaining a lot of experience and still learning the game, but you know, when just like all the players, when he gets a little more in that work mode, seems like to me he plays his best. May have ended up a little bit light there, and this is very important because look at the 8. Doesn't pass the 9. Can he move the 8 right here?
It would be good because the cue ball should stay there. Just bounce it out where it goes into there, just like that, so where it goes by the 9.
Yeah, I don't know if he got there. I don't think it goes by the 9, so it's going to be more cue ball movement here for Chris.
He's going to have to come back with the 8 inside.
Watch outside pocket. This is that angle here.
That 2-railer coming into it.
Yeah, I like this shot. The follow with a high left ball coming to the short side of the 8. Just smooth it around. You got 4 pockets for the 8, really, depending on your speed. That looks like it should be fine for the upper left corner. Yeah, see that? So as long as you're coming in nice and smoothly with the cue ball, very hard to get in trouble there.
Looking pretty smooth. He's got the speed down pretty well.
He's got to piece it together. That's all. And when you work, you know, when you're working through the rack, George, you really get in that one shot at a time mentality. Kind of really slows you down without you trying to slow down.
Shane Van Boening breaking the 5th game, tied at 2. We have 2 players that are already into the final 16, and that's Carlo Beato and Oscar Dominguez. Yeah, ball on the break. Good shot on the 1.
Yeah, pretty good shot on the 1. A little thin to both pockets, so I wouldn't be surprised if he took it in the upper right. Just so he can move the cue ball into position on the 2. I think if he goes for the upper left, very hard to hold position on the 2. The upper left, a little easier shot to pocket the ball, but not much.
Pretty natural to come over and lay on the rail. The speed's just right, too.
Nice shot there. Something you won't see very often at this level, but Zielinski and Al Shaheen each 3-fouled each other for one of their game wins. So
I haven't seen one yet. That's the first.
Yeah, well, they've done it twice now in that match.
You know, it's funny when somebody 3 fouls you, it makes you feel like I got to get you back.
Okay. Shane may flick this in with a little right to gain a little angle. Could go back and forth, but okay, that means he's going to fall below it or play a rail first shot here maybe. May be able to just cheat the pocket and stun the cue ball up, but okay, that looks like that's available.
On this table, it doesn't take much effort to get that ball travel 4 feet.
Yeah, I just hit a couple balls this morning and super fast. Not sure what I'd rate this felt. I don't know it that well, but in comparison to some other cloths, it seems pretty fast to me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I was informed that Shane actually lost his match last night on 3 fouls.
Oh, against Vader?
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like Zelensky is, I think he's got Omar on 2 fouls again on one of the outer tables. Now Shane 3-2 lead after 5 games. So both guys playing very well in the morning stages of day number 3.
Chris just missed that one ball that was on the rail, catching the corner of the side pocket, and then Shane missed that unexpected, was it a 6 ball? That was Chris's. Shane just missed another ball that was just kind of really unexpected. An open shot. Leading to Chris's win, I believe. Chris is he sponsored by Predator? I believe
He
so.
is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shane, of course, is sponsored by his competitor, their competitor. Long time. Q-Tech. Let's track that 5 and 9, see if they go towards the side pockets, and then the 2 and 6 going 4 rails for the corner is the expected path those balls should take.
And Chris has worked long and hard on this break, still wants to improve it even more, but feels like he's getting somewhere. You don't necessarily see the work here because the guys are changing speeds a lot, especially on this table here. Seems like anyways.
Now when you hit them harder, the balls behind the one go high above the pocket?
Longer, yeah. Well, you know, so if you got the speed down to make them and then you add that more speed, yeah, they'll go longer.
Sure. Which is what we saw there.
Yeah, I'm not sure really. Looks to me he could spin this and try and get behind the 5. It's a dangerous shot, but very doable. Got to use a really full hit. Don't know if that got there or not. It's going to be close.
He's got a kick. It's real close though.
Yeah, he almost gave him a shot.
Could have rolled just one more rotation and froze on the 5, but it didn't. Didn't get it there. CueSports International Expo is comprised of the BCA World Championships, the USA National Championships, the Diamond Las Vegas Open, and of course this, the Predator World 10 Ball. We have about 6,000 to 7,000. The teams arriving today. We have 6,000 to 7,000 amateur players, 300 pool tables, 3 ballrooms full of tables and vendors and everything pool related.
Well, for not making one, the one ended up tough, even though it's open. The 4 got a little tied up on the 10. No early winners here in the Predator World 10 Ball. You can play the 4-10 combo and then continue the run with the 10 spotting. Looks to me he's called it cross corner. He's bringing the cue ball. Did he make that? Wow, what
Yes,
a shot.
he did. What a nice shot. To me, that's one of the harder banks. It's not as short as banking, you know, to a side pocket, or it's that long angle.
Yeah, it's usually a bank you're playing some type of two-way shot with if you're playing 9-ball or 10-ball. Rotation gain. Can he? I guess he can't shoot the 2 by the 4-10 and follow right behind those. Doesn't appear.
He's going to work his way behind him.
I'll tell you what, he's kept a nice containing, several nice containing shots. That's what you got to do. You got to work on. And when you're an underdog, you got to keep working on them. You know, people say, well, you got to shoot, you got to do this. Well, I don't know. This level, you got to keep trying to play the right shot. Now with a second consecutive jump shot here by Shane.
And when you're the underdog, you got to keep the big dog in check.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Chris sizing up that 4-10. Again, it's not a winner.
This is the third day of the Predator World 10 ball. We have 2 days. Friday's finals and semifinals will be on Friday. Fridays will be on Friday.
Okay, depending on the angle here. Looks like you got perfect. If you got behind that ball a little bit, could be trouble holding for the 4. May have to move the cue ball into position. And now he's perfect. Now, is the ball spotting going to hamper getting position on the 5? I don't think so. I think he can go right by it. He may have to go right by it lightly, though, because of the side pocket. I'm not sure. It's real close. Okay, got by that.
Looking good to close this one up and keep it tied. Not letting Shane get too comfortable. You know, one of the things I've noticed from the Polish contingent is whenever one of their players is playing, the others are there watching, support.
Well, it's like I think I commented, and I think I'm correct when I say it's a government-funded sport there in Poland, or at least an association that really helps them. So those guys are always training together and spending a lot of time. Now, getting the cue ball on the rail here could have been a bit of a mistake. It's going to get a little funny. It should be okay, though. He's close enough to it. He should manage. Didn't want to go by the 9. Felt that was a little dangerous, and I kind of agree. But really a bit of a mistake on that 7 before the 8, getting on the rail with the cue ball.
So you'll take this 3 rails with inside English?
Yeah, probably. Just don't. It's easy to overhit this.
Yeah.
He put more just straight, and I like that choice. Not a whole lot of inside. So
that's the shot I had designed in my mind for that. And get it just right. And just 10 ball to tie it. And race to 8 at 3. Tied at 3. Shane Van Boening to break the balls here at the CueSports International Expo. An appreciative crowd gives him a round of applause as he comes to break them.
Yeah, don't see anything down just yet.
The 8 ball came just short of the pocket, which was where it was supposed to go, on the side.
Speaking of the 8 ball, if he can reach it, he should bank the 1 up and float the cue ball behind the 8, it looks like to me. Pretty easy shot. You got a few balls that you can use. Now the speed's off that time. Good speed on the 1, but Chris's speed on the cue ball has been pretty perfect the first 6 games of this match. That one got away from him a little bit, and Shane's probably going to try and do the same, get behind the 8. Oh, he's just going shorter, just really playing the 1 behind the 9 and 4. It's real close. May have given him the top side of this ball. If he can get by the 3, he can maybe do something a little effective. Pretty good crowd here early, of course, when Shane's playing. And Chris got some fans out here on the West Coast. Now resides in Texas, but from California, from the LA area. Okay, so good hit on the 1, had to kick at it. Doing everything he can to try and grab a lead here in this match. Did have a lead early, I think, at 1-0, but gonna leave a little jump here, I believe. And he's gonna take that on. Almost has to.
That's that new jump cue. They all leave that back end of it on. They don't take it off.
Chris usually very good with the jump cue. Don't know if the 6 is playable here. He's gonna have a look, I think, and see what the possibilities there are.
He's going to open this up.
How?
He's going to go hit the 8 and play the 2 ball off the 8.
It doesn't go, I don't think, unless you hit it 100 miles an hour, unless he's playing it off the 6 and the 8 or something. I don't, softly, this ball doesn't go, does it? Am I seeing this wrong?
He's lined up for it. I mean, there's no other reason he would line up that way.
No, I get that, but I mean, unless he shoots it with a lot of speed and gets it to really ricochet, yeah, like that. Yeah, he had to shoot it pretty hard, it looked like to me.
Look what the 8's going to do.
Well, it already took away the 3 that he was playing shape on. It knocked it in the side as well, so.
Well, he says, if I can't have my way, neither will you.
Pretty easy kick to the right side rail here. Should kick to try and get underneath this mildly with the balls kind of in a goofy way. He's going to go to the jump cue now. Pretty surprising. There's not really even a pocket to call.
That seems to be one of the tendencies.
He's kicking the other way.
Okay, he's changed. I was going to say, that seems to be a tendency for a lot of the younger players. Oh, look at this shot. If he feels frisky, he could try to hit a perfect shot behind the 5. That's almost next to impossible. But he feels frisky. That's exactly what he's doing. Caught the 7.
And he's going to look at taking this ball on. Not sure if he can get the cue ball out for the 5 or not. There's a nice little ticky shot that drops you behind the 6 pretty easily for a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Where you hit rail first on the behind the 4 and then the 4 ball and go back to the rail.
A lot of you pool players don't know what a ticky shot is, but it is actually a term used in billiards, in three cushion, or on the carom table. Means you go to the rail, the ball, and back to a rail for your designated area of landing area.
And that's going to get up a little much, so Chris is going to have an offensive opportunity on a kiss shot on the 6 if he wants, and I'm sure he's going to take it. He can get out here if he makes this. I think the 5 is playable. The 7-10 is playable. The ball spot back up. It does play an early 10. It's not a winner. You can still run out. Okay, got a little on the thin side of that, so nothing easy here on the 4. Looks like he can just roll it into me, but these guys being at the table, George, you know they see it much better than we do.
Well, yeah, he's got an angle that's going to go past the 9, so he's going to go to the rail. Yeah, see, it went right. He played safe. Didn't even try to make it. I guess he didn't see the future in the 7-10 combo.
Well, I think it was just a tester on the 4 he didn't like.
Oh, okay. It doesn't happen too often.
Well, it's another one of those kicks with the ball out in the middle of the table. Very hard to predict the bend of the cue ball on this slick felt. I thought he would get above this just a hair of the 5 and shoot it and go to the rail with the cue ball, the bottom rail, and then back up for that 7-10. Now he's kind of straight on it, so he's not trying to open anything, I wouldn't think. Maybe just draw the cue ball way clear. Yeah, he tried to open something. I'm not sure if that was necessary or not.
He might have some success if he puts that 7 ball between the rail and the 8 to make the 10.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to miss here, but I think maybe maybe it would have been unfortunate not to get something there. But anytime you open them balls when it's not necessary, and again he's at the table, so maybe it was necessary. But it looked like to me the 7-10 was.
It did look like that. But it looks like what he did is going to be successful. The 10 will spot and he just runs these 4 balls.
Yeah, looking for his first lead since 1-0.
This is a race to 8. We're tied at 3. Probably wants a cue ball close to where it is now.
Yes, again, for the most part, speed's been very good on the cue ball. As soon as I said something, this one has gone off.
Yeah,
he's gotten a little thinner here. Shouldn't be a problem, but makes it, definitely more missable ball. 100%. Should hit about the middle of the side rail and past the right side pocket. The cue ball. gain. And breaking now. Wow, he's changing a little bit here. Going a little bit more towards the side rail, not quite to the side rail, but so looking, I would look at the 4 that's racked on the corner there for the 4-railer and the 1 on the side. Those are the 2 balls that I think he's got the best chance. Wow, those didn't act very well at all.
1 ball went straight up table, and the 4 ball, I think, kissed something right in the middle and kind of still spinning.
Yeah, it seems from day to day this table's changing the way it's, I guess you have to say, racking and breaking, not just breaking.
Well, Shane, going to work on this rack. Everything is pretty open. There aren't any really problems.
Touchy shot here, though. I mean, he's got to shoot the gap somewhere and not get behind the ball. I don't think the cross-side scratch is really available. I don't think he'll go with top English. And he's got to gain an angle maybe to get on the 4. So
Key to the rack, maybe?
this is the ball. Ooh, he caught the 8. He was in the well there if he doesn't catch the 8. He knew it as soon as he hit it. Kind of stood up off of it. Both eyes on the cue ball. This is the shot I was talking about you got to pay attention to. Still got to get out for the 4. Yeah. Slickfeld helped him there. Was trying to get to the other side of the 4 ball.
Just come right off that rail towards the 5. I don't think he goes around.
I was going to say the 5 in the side isn't too bad, really, with the 6 pretty easy. Probably just stops his ball here, doesn't want to get straight on the 6 ball, so.
Good look at that cue ball.
I don't think this ball can spread on him, especially if he just uses straight high. But it still got into the 10 decent. But perfect now, really. Should tie this match at 4 games apiece.
Nice camera work watching Shane cue the ball. Brandon and Tim doing a great job with the camera and the angles we get to see. For the tie. Getting to some of those matches. Al Shaheen over Zielinski, 5-2 now. And we're having a great match with Mika Immonen and Junling Chang. Chang leading that 4-3. Lechner over Al-Shamari, 5-2. Gorst has tightened things up at 3-4 now, trailing Garcia. Holman and Pagalayan in another battle. Holman trailing 3-4. And Chua over Soto from Spain, 6-3. And Dennis Grab leading David Alcaide from Spain, 4-2.
Well, it started a race to 8 now. Been cut in half. It's a race to 4 for these two. It is the 1-loss side, so one of our American players here and fan favorites isn't going to make the final 16. Both these guys made the final 32 in the Vegas Diamond.
And in order to make the final 16, I believe they have to win this match, the next one, and one more.
Really?
Let me make sure. Yes.
Wow.
This one and 2 more. Because they're back here. Yep.
Right. He's got a nice shot to come right between the 7-4 with the cue ball. Of course, speed's crucial. May need a hair up left English. Okay. He needs to be able to get on the 3 as well. If he got on the wrong side of this ball, could be trouble.
Looks like he hasn't gained. Can he draw the ball straight back?
Maybe.
Yep. Now he's got to play the combo.
That's great. Nothing wrong with that. Now this shot here, if you hit the 8 to the bottom side, right side of the pocket here, the 3 could stay on the rail. So you got to be a little concerned, put enough speed for that bounce. And oh, he missed it on that side of the pocket. Wow. He didn't ever expect that, and I don't think either of us did either. Shane certainly didn't. Happy to be at the table though.
Straight up towards the 4, I imagine.
Yeah, he's got a little angle here, so I'm gonna have to stun the cue ball, draw the cue ball to the left side rail and back out.
He says not a problem. This might not go in.
I was kind of shocked. I didn't mind him rolling it, of course, but he hit it really light.
Mm-hmm. Big opportunity for Chris to put these 5 balls down and take that lead again as we get closer to the end. I mean, to tie things up.
No,
Take the lead, yeah. I kept looking down at my little score that I keep, and didn't read it right. Take the lead here. Close in on that 8. And he'll be breaking. So that's what makes it big. Is he can convert this error to 2 games instead of just 1. Now, why would he come back on that instead of staying up there and just draw a back lean for the 10 in the same pocket?
Well, that's what he's doing here.
Yeah.
I think he drew it a little much or a little more than he wanted on the 7. So.
John Lehman firing up the crowd as Chris REINHOLD to break the balls, leading 5-4 in a race to 8 over Shane Van Boening.
Chris going to the other side rail now. Really kind of begging to get a ball on the break, it seems. Changing positions a few times in the short race to 8. Changing speeds also. Now he's going to lose the cue ball, it looks like. So Shane's going to be in a prime position to tie this match at 5 apiece with ball in hand. He's got a lot of work though. 4, 7, 8, 9 is goofy. Nothing easy at this point.
All his work seems to be concentrated on one side of the table, the right side.
Yeah, and I told you earlier, he broke from that side rail there, right? And when you
breaks.
Yeah, when you don't get it how you want, they seem to end up on the same side of the table you break from. The one makes sense, of course, because it's going to go off the rack and go across that way. But the problem here on the 4-7 is, of course, getting on the combo, but then unless the 4, it looks like to me he's got to cut the 7 a hair when he shoots the combo, and is the 4 going to go up towards that 9 and 8? You know, that's a little concern there. So if he gets off the rail and gets somewhat close to it, I think he manages it. No, oh, he caught the 5 a little bit.
Is this going to help him?
Yeah, but you see this cut here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he can't move the cue ball much along with that cut, well, things become very difficult to predict anyways, let's say that. Not difficult to make the combo, not difficult to get something on the 4, but kind of hard to predict what's going to happen exactly. Okay, moving a few balls.
Yeah, he used speed to make sure nothing got tied up.
Yeah, but I still think it was a little hard to predict everything that was going on there. I think more than anything, he wanted to make sure the cue ball got freed up. You know, play the percentage. If the cue ball's not buried behind the ball, good chance I end up with a shot. And now everything's opened up for what would be a, 98 out of 100 run out for Shane, something like that. 95 plus, I would think, anyways.
Sure. These 2 balls to tie it up at 5 and be breaking the next game to open up a little lead, getting close to the finish line for the match. But they still have some work to do to get into that final 16, which will then go to a race to 10 and single elimination. The money's good there, though, because they're both looking at that $35,000 first prize. And I believe once they get to the final 16, it's at least $3,000. Yes. Two players already there would be Oscar Dominguez and Carlos Beato. Joined, I thought the match was over. Omar Al-Shaheen and Victor Zielinski are battling for that same luxury, but he only leads 6-2. I thought the match was over when they were switching sides there. Mika Immonen and Chang are now tied. Al-Shamari still trails 2-6 to Max Lechner. Garcia and Gorst in a battle. Homan and Pagalayan in a battle. Pagalayan, the Lion, over Torsten 5-3. Chua about to defeat Jonas Suto 7-3. And Groggy over Al-Qaeda at 6-2. Shane breaking. Tied at 5.
And 10 ball movement a lot again. He actually made the 10 on the break. It's not a winner, but it's a ball on the break. It'll spot, and Shane will have his turn at the table. I don't really see a pocket just yet. He's not taking much time though.
He's rolling right on top of the balls.
Yeah, just a real simple, mild safety. And you see how easy that was, right, George?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I really have a problem with call shot. I mean, one foul is an easy game. Easy part of the game is the safety at this level for the most part. Now, there still have to be executed and whatnot, but now a guy has to kick 2-3 rails and call the ball. It just doesn't seem like percentage-wise the right rules for the game, in my opinion. But you know, there's all differences of opinions, right?
There is, and I like the call shot, but I'd like to be able to have a two-way shot. Somehow you can really display your talent to gain early combinations. You know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there's people work on their kick shots for a lot of reasons, and somebody that repeatedly hits the kick shots, the tough ones and whatnot, there's a reason why you get so good at them, because you know you're enhancing your percentage of getting lucky by being able to hit all kinds of kick shots. So it's just I don't know. I think there's luck in every sport. I think we got the luck labeled incorrectly, maybe a little bit. The call shot is for like not fluking balls in, but at this level, that's a rarity.
The luck comes in shots like this. There was no luck in that. He was playing that shot.
Yeah, he was playing somewhat of that shot for sure. But the luck comes in the misses and maybe just overall, not one person or another. Just you know, who got the shots after the break. That's lucky. You know, and sometimes you know you need a bit of fortune because you're not getting fortune in other areas to turn matches around. And that's why, like I said, there's a bit of luck in every sport. And I think it's there for a reason, but regardless, now Shane at 5-5 with a long shot on the one. Looks more into the match to me now. Expect him to make this.
Came around nicely.
Gonna need a bump. He's gonna get it. 2-4 combination, not too bad. Could play the bank. Combo's not bad though. I think Shane will take that on. As long as he can kill the cue ball nicely.
Or will he bring it around?
I don't think so. I think he just either slow rolls it or kills it with a hair left. He actually put a hair right so he could hit it fuller on the 2, and that essentially kills the cue ball as well, because you know, anytime you hit the ball fuller, more full, it's not going to race as much. So. Does he have to contend with the 9 here? A little shake of the head.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah, he's got enough angle to elevate and move the ball, I think, anyways. Maybe he stuns 2 rails around. Oh no, he came 1 rail in. And that had a lot to do with the 6. The 6 is not bad. You know, he can kind of almost stop his ball right here on the 5 and be pretty good on the 6.
And it's easy to go from the 6 to the 7 too, no matter where, as long as he stays close to the center of the table.
It's all about, like we talked about, where you want to work. You know, do you want to work harder on this shot? Work a little harder on the next shot? That's all decision making.
Well,
and something that this guy doesn't get enough credit for, I think.
Well, Shane's one of 2 players with the highest Fargo rate in the world. Him and Joshua Filler at 829.
Yeah. Okay, that just got over enough. Got to pay attention to this, though, unless you're going to come out for the corner, which is good chances what I do, like that. No reason to draw a stretch like that and end up on top of the 10 because you let up on it or something like that. That was smart play right there. I know it's a simple play, but a smart one.
This is a WPA sanctioned event. And Shane actually, his ranking is 2 on the WPA. Reinhold trailing 6-5.
I hit those great. Got a lot into the rack. 1 on the side. Made the 3 in the upper corner. And he's got a nice shot on the 2. He's just got to play that big gap. That's right where you want to get that opposite head spot there. The funny thing is you can shoot it to the right or left. I like the right myself. Seems like it has a little slower pace on the cue ball coming off that left rail than if he played to the upper left with the 2 ball.
He still comes off you. The rail for the 4.
It's
Yes.
like perfect, I think.
Yep.
I don't know if he was so sure about the object ball or the cue ball there when he released it. kind of got up and made a concerned look at both, it looked like. But
Well, I think it was much easier to overhit that than to underhit it. He did a great job of ending up where he did.
yeah, he caught the 2 a little thick to the pocket, so that I think helped the cue ball tremendously. Now does the 6 go by the 10? If not, he's got to pay attention. No pocket for the 7 down low. With the 8 being there, he's going to have to play the 7 in the side. So that's a good shot there. And Chris and I talked, you know, for these tables, you really got to kind of creep into position with the cue ball. That kind of is the stroke that matches up with these tables for most of the guys.
Good view of it right here. See how he goes through right through that, and the ball just, as you said, creeps right over.
Yeah, you just get the most out of everything that way. You can play it, you know, it's almost hard to slow it down sometimes, to be honest with you. Because then you kind of like manipulate your stroke a little bit. You kind of guide the stroke a little bit, so.
No, he's going to have to travel now.
It shouldn't be a problem, though.
No.
Just come straight up the center of the table. Oh, he used inside, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Pretty comfortable there.
To tie it at 6.
And I don't think there's been a 2-game lead yet.
No, there hasn't.
Similar to, who was it last night? They were kind of breaking for each other, it seemed like, even though that's not necessarily the case here. We've seen the guys break.
Shaw and Corey.
That's right.
They had a heck of a match. They went back and forth, back and forth. In fact, there was only 1 point in the match where someone won 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I saw Shaw at a taco place last night after the matches. My wife and I walked down there, and he showed up, and that's the first thing he commented on about the TV table here, just breaking not only tough, but an inconsistent tough as well. So, or, you know, something you can't just put your finger on. Now, yesterday, at the early part of the day, you and I both commented, it seemed like the table was breaking better as the days went.
It was breaking beautifully.
Yeah.
Because we had almost every match started out with a break and run.
Yeah, and we had a few within every match, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But then as the day went on, it wasn't just the Shaw match. The table seemed to change a little bit. So now Shane 6-6. He's searching for something down, and I don't see it just yet. Is the 3 going to get in the way of this little chip in on the 1? In the side pocket? Yes, it is. And man, he may have to take the kick here. Treacherous little shot here in the side, coming off the where he's standing, that what would be the bottom rail below the rack. Otherwise, I may roll out to a different kick here. You may not get it back, but man, it seems to me it's hard to get through there unless you want to hit it with some speed.
Just a little bit. It might. The 3 ball is going to push it up behind the 9, though, if he hits this ball good.
Yeah, he did it correctly, though, not to hit 2 rails. You don't want to hit 2 rails on that. You want to just go 1 rail at it. Bigger chance of making it. And to be honest with you, when you try to get that second rail, George, a lot of times on this slick felt, you'll whiff the whole ball. You'll bend a little shorter of where you want and not catch the 1 at all. So I think a good choice. It was just something he had to do.
I like the way he shot it. If he happens to hit the ball, that especially at that speed, he's not going to get penalized.
Right. He's trying to free the cue ball up for something on the 2. So. Okay. The 4 passes the 6. He could move this ball a few rails to the. All right, he's just going to chip it in here. He's going to have a going away angle here on the 3, though. So we'll see how he decides to play this, because I'm not sure he has an entire pocket on the 4 by the 6. Does he just put inside here?
Yeah, and go 2 rails and come back up.
Yeah, he's trying to come straight up for the 4 in the upper left, though. Yeah, he didn't want to deal with that 4 by the 6, I don't think. And now he has a choice. Shane usually lets the stroke out here and comes back across. We'll see. He may just hold it.
You think he wants to cross that 10 ball twice?
Yeah, but it's not it's not the end of the world. It's not a hard shot, right? It's a matter if you just don't let up. If he could hold that like that, though, he's always going to do that. So it's just a matter if he's pushing it, trying to hold it. You know, it becomes kind of touchy.
That's one of the things I notice about most of the pro players is they don't like to go behind balls when they're playing position, because that's the only way they can get hurt.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get too close to this. Maybe 4 or 5 inches, maybe just a couple inches past the head string here. Yeah, about like that. You don't want it to get away from you. Even if you fall a little straight on the 7, you're a little further away, no big deal. With the 8 and the 9, very playable. But you get a lot into that cue ball on this table, drawing it, boy, it can sure start to go on you.
And it takes off quick. I mean, it really gets going, like you just said. You just get off the rail a little bit. Oh, he didn't even bother getting off the rail. He was pretty straight.
Yeah, pretty straight here, but enough. Again, kind of smooth the ball 2 rails into position for the 9 in the corner. And really, if you don't play that way, right? I mean, you're not taking advantage of the equipment. You know, that's how the table's playing, is to smooth it around.
Yeah, just.
Yeah. And really, that fundamental and that technique really holds up on most tables. You know, I mean, rarely these days you get on a table where you're really having to slug the ball.
Well, he's on the hill here. He's taking a 1-game lead once he pockets his 10 ball.
Yeah, he's kept a 1-game lead the last half of the match.
Chris Reinhold to break to stay in the match. Trailing 7-6 to Shane Van Boening in a race to 8. Shane needs 1. An unsuccessful break here allows his idol to come back and remain his idol.
Yeah, well, he made 2 on the break from there last time. The one and ball up in the corner. Man, you know, I do like the rule with the rack, right, instead of the template, but sure has been a little different today. I don't, who knows, as maybe, you know, tables get a little pits in them at times and stuff, but around the racking area. But seen a lot of clusters on one side of the table so far in this match. We'll see how it continues through the day. But
some work for Shane from the 3 to the 6.
Yeah, he just sized up the 6, I think. He likes this shot. I don't know if he'll shoot it with a lot of middle right spin, kind of humping the ball around the table a little bit, right? But yeah, he's just going to put more of the topping and the stroke on it.
Stayed away from going into the 6 ball. It must clear the 8.
I don't know if it does or not, to be honest with you. He gave it a, when he looked at it a moment ago, George, it didn't, wasn't a very positive look.
Yeah, it was a good,
yeah,
I
think it goes. Yeah. And he got good enough there. That's straight enough.
Yeah, you can just stop it for the 5 right there and then go forward 3 rails for the 6. Or come across.
Yeah, you may have wanted an angle on the 4 to just inch over towards the 5 a little bit, but I think he'll settle here, no problem.
Try to get right about where he's at now, just a little bit to the left. Yeah, where he just aimed.
And if it's tight, most of the time you don't want to get too much of a cut on the ball, unless it's just absolutely necessary. Shane is one that stays a little heavier on shots than most anyways. He doesn't mind working the cue ball with more power rather than using the angle on the shot to work the cue ball.
He laid that cue ball on a dime.
Yeah.
Just perfect.
Oh, side pocket, watch out. Oof. I doubt he wanted to go past the side there. I would guess, yeah, he wanted to hit before the side. Very abnormal to go past the side,
yeah, we
on that shot.
We have a deal with Shane that when we question a shot, he tells us, he corrects us.
Yeah, right.
And he's unhappy about it. He's still.
Well.
Attention, please.
Yeah, now that cue ball comes into the 9. Yeah, I guess he can, with a little bit of right, he can just come up
I
away.
think smoothly
like
he can avoid it,
sure.
to me, and looks like anyways. May not get as close to the 8 as he originally wanted, but should be okay.
I think that was the issue. There we go.
Yeah. I think it's just a, you know, maybe Shane's working into a better frame of mind for this tournament.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He doesn't have much more time.
Well, yeah, looking to get to that 16 and erase all the records and play that single elimination for the title, but like you said, he's got a lot of guys to get through. He's going to get through Chris Reinhold right here, but Chris, who fought hard and always appreciates getting to play the best in the world. Stay tuned, 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll have another great one.